Good afternoon, Zinger Nation. How are you doing on this fine Monday at 2 o'clock? My name is Logan Ross, and this is Moon or Bust, your home for all things altcoins and DeFi. Live from Benzinga HQ in beautiful downtown Detroit, Michigan, the crypto markets are ripping today. The NFT markets are ripping today. Visa bought a CryptoPunk this morning. We will be covering it all. So get your popcorn, load up your MetaMask because it's about to go down. I am joined today by the DeFi developer himself, Brian Moir, and Liquidation Nation, Ryan McNamara. How are y'all doing today?
It's a beautiful day in the markets. I'm happy.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Everyone's happy.
I'm doing great as well. Thanks so much for asking, guys. But I want to toss it out to the chat. How are y'all feeling? How are y'all feeling right now? How are y'all feeling today about the markets? Are there any projects in particular you're looking at? Any cryptos or NFTs? Drop them in the chat right now. And while you're down there, take a second, stop by the like button, stop by the subscribe button, and stop by the links in the description. So the first one is the Benzinga Crypto separate YouTube channel. That's where all of the must-see crypto clips end up. So make sure you subscribe to that. Also, we have a Telegram, and we have some sick Moon or Bust merch, like this ETH hat right here with the logo embroidered on the side. Is very nice, and you could get 25% off if you join our Telegram. Okay, also there is the Benzinga money crypto pages in the bottom. So some of the coins we talk about, it isn't always obvious how you can get your hands on them. Sometimes you have to, like add the Binance Smart Chain to your MetaMask, something complicated like that. So we have a bunch of links in the description of how you can pick up these popular coins that we're always talking about and get in on the action if you want to. Okay, cool. As always, make sure to connect with us on Twitter. You can see our handles in our names right here. Hit us up, say hello, and we will get back to you. So let's just get it going. We have a quick market update for you because how hot it is. So Ryan, do you want to pull up TradingView? Should I? I can start with CoinMarketCap. We can just go over the top 10.
Yeah, do you want to pull up TradingView while I pull up CoinMarketCap here? I actually have a page open for it.
Okay, dokie. Either way, man.
All right, I'll get going then. We were above 50K for Bitcoin, which I love to see. That's a big psychological support number. Since then, we came down about $500. We're sitting at $49,500, up 2% so far today, about 7% this week. And we're approaching that $1 trillion market cap, which is another huge psychological range that we would like to surpass here coming up. We're at $930 billion. Going down the list, we have ETH at $3,330. We got Cardano still at the third largest cryptocurrency, approaching $3 very quickly here, up 15% in the past 24 hours at $2.93. And we got Binance Coin close behind it at right around $500, up 13% on the day, 17% on the week. All in all, the markets are looking great. The biggest disappointing coins on here, we have Tether at $1, down 0.1%. We got USD Coin down 0.1% at $1. So, some things here a little bit disappointing, but, generally crypto markets are doing well as long as you're not in stable coins here. I mean, Luke would probably beg to differ, but hey.
That man is earning 9% interest on his USDC with Voyager. I'm not sure if there's a link for Voyager in the description below, but go check them out, investvoyager.com.
Yeah, if you guys sign up for Voyager and use the code ZING, Z-I-N-G, you will get $50 in free Bitcoin once you put $100 on the website. Quick, 50% guaranteed gains, zero risk. So if you don't have a Voyager account, go ahead, sign up on Voyager, and you'll get free $50 for just depositing $100. It's hard to find 50% return on your investment when it's guaranteed like that. I'm pretty good at finding stuff like that, but this one's guaranteed. It's pretty good. So if you don't have a Voyager account, free money, might as well use it.
Yeah, for sure. And then you'll have to put that code ZING in one more time. Toss it up there on the screen. Okay, another one I want to point out is Avalanche up 122% on the 7-day. That is wild.
Killing it.
Let's see here. What else do we have that's interesting? We have Cosmos has been ripping lately. We're good friends with the team there. We've had him on a couple times. And so yeah, hopefully you guys got in when we had him on. That's all I got to say about that. So now maybe I'll pull up TradingView. We can look at the bull market support band, and you know, kind of talk about where we could go from here.
I really want to see this 50K range hold.
Yeah? Why is that?
Well, it's just a psychological support number. I think if we hold it, we can probably go up another at least 10%. That being said, I have some cash waiting on hand. I want to see it dip back down to that support. Hopefully it will, but it doesn't always do that. So, I mean, just play accordingly. We'll see what happens here. We're very, very bullish as of recently. And we had these two small dips down that look like they kind of tested this bull market support band. And like we've said on the other shows, I'd really hope to see a 1 week candlestick go down and test that, which we have not seen yet. But it does look like we're kind of using that as support. We saw that last week's candlestick kind of dipped down there with a wick, but we didn't quite get there. And I mean, this is going to be what our sixth green week in a row if we can close in the green again, which will just be insane.
That golden cross.
I would really like to see 52. I think bounce down. If anything, maybe it bounced down to like the 48 region, and then go back up to 52 and hold that support right there. That's kind of what I would like. And if it does go to 48, I'd probably put into some Bitcoin, but I can see the 52 being a really like it's holding number, kind of like how that 49, 48 is right now. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm looking.
I can see that. So when was the last time we actually had 5 green candlesticks in a row for Bitcoin? Because I don't think we've seen that in quite a while.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We'll count all the way back from 2010.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had 7 here at the end of last year. And that was very, very bullish. As you can see, we went parabolic basically 3 weeks later. So it's good news, man. It's good news. I'm hoping we can, like we've said so many times, hold this as support on a weekly, and then we're good to go. So let's pull up Cardano here because it has hit a new all-time high today. ADA, let's see, ADA USDT, boom. Oh, wow. Look at that. So these are the weekly candles here. It is well above its bull market support band. It is just ripping straight into the crypto verse. Maybe I'll change over to the 1 day candles. And Brian, you want to take another shot at convincing Ryan to get into ADA?
I don't think I'll be able to. I just think you'll just have to learn to love it side by side to anything else. There's just, I found having the community. If you look at a project or tokens or coins community, that's a really good indication on where the how far it can go and what it can come back. I mean, look at Doge. I mean, from 0.008 all the way to like 75 cents. That's a community right there. My printer's going off for some reason. But yeah, I mean, that's all you really need. If it has a solid project and ADA has that long lasting community that people have just stuck with. I think 70% of ADA holders are staking their tokens too. So they're just holding it and they're not dropping it.
There you go. Yeah, I'm pretty bullish on ADA right now. It might correct in the near term here. It's very, very bullish. A lot of, blow off top looking action. So, but yeah, still near medium term, I'm still pretty bullish. Okay. Do you guys have any other coins you want to talk about today?
Might as well check out ETH real quick.
Alrighty.
We can't go to the 3rd largest cryptocurrency and skip the 2nd.
We really can't, can we?
And you know what's great about Ethereum that I really like?
Huh?
It has smart contracts.
No way. What's a smart contract?
You'll have to look it up. Go to Benzinga's money page. You can learn all about it.
There you go. But, the Cardano will have them. We'll just have to see. I think it's game over for the old Ryans of the world once smart contracts are implemented fully on mainnet for Cardano. So we'll see.
Here's our article here. Did you write this one? Oh man, it's pretty old. We should probably rewrite this. I don't know if I want to plug it before reviewing it. So we'll try to get that in the description for next time. But shout out to Alexa Solomon in the chat. She says, smash the like button. Thank you. Yeah, so let's see. Kindred Duke wants us to talk about Veed. We talked about Veed last time, homie. I think you were the one who requested it. So if you didn't see that, go to the Benzinga Moon or Bust crypto playlist, and you can see our review of it there. All right, I'm gonna pull my screen share off, and let's see. Let's talk about the Visa CryptoPunk real quick. Ryan, do you want to tell us what happened there?
Yeah, so this morning, Visa bought a CryptoPunk. For those of you who may not know what a CryptoPunk is, it's the biggest collection of NFTs on Ethereum's blockchain. The floor price is now about $200,000 to get your hands on one. They were generated back in 2017. They all have different traits. They're all original. They're really cool. So Visa bought one, and they tweeted about it saying they like to invest in I forgot the exact words, but basically new financial products, different things, starting with some old types of credit cards back in the day. So they really pumped CryptoPunks. It was amazing to see that they bought a CryptoPunk. I would have never guessed that would have happened. That also implies that they own Ethereum, because you need Ethereum to buy a CryptoPunk.
They did not, but they used one of their subsidiaries, Anchorage, and that's how they broke the deal for Visa. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So not confirmed that they own
They
any.
do not have Ethereum themselves that they use to buy
yet. Keyword yet. So Visa News tweeted out, over the last 60 years, Visa has built a collection of historic commerce artifacts, from early paper credit cards to the Zip Zap machine. Today, we enter a new era of NFT commerce. Visa welcomes CryptoPunk 7610 to our collection. This is so sick. It's going to spread NFTs, legitimize NFTs. People are going to find out about punks for the first time today. So many people will. And the price floor has just shot up since that happened this morning. There have been hundreds of millions of dollars in transaction volume, and the floor is rising. It's now above $200,000 for the cheapest CryptoPunk. We've been talking about them forever. We've interviewed CryptoPunk collectors. So if you've been here for the long haul, you are already hip. So congrats to you on that. Let's see. All right, that's all.
I have a fun fact. So that CryptoPunk that Visa bought was actually owned by gmoney.eth, and we had him on the show. So if you want to learn more about CryptoPunks and NFTs, go check out that interview. It was one of my favorite interviews that we've had on the show. Super cool guy, and he's really into NFTs. Has made millions off of them. So yeah, go check that out if you're interested.
Yeah, for sure. And that's let's see, I was going to see if I have it pulled up, but I don't, unfortunately. It's called Bitcoin versus Ethereum, gmoney.eth interview. I'm sure you could just look it up on YouTube. So, alrighty. Last Thursday, we did an interview with Brian's favorite NFT project, the Glue Factory Show. Brian, you want to tell us a little bit about this project?
Yeah, I mean, you'll get a good rundown with watching the interview, but it's pretty much a NFT project that is trying to disrupt the, I guess, entertainment people, that whole space, by creating a cartoon show that's really run by the holders of their NFTs. So you get one of their horses, and it gets you privileges to go into what they call the writer's room and help write the show and be a part of the show, be a part of the making and the process. There's a lot of great comedy minds that are behind it, and it has a lot of potential. There'll be short episodes, but you'll pretty much be there the whole time if you join the community. It's really neat. We had a lot of fun talking with them and learned a whole lot, and I'm pretty excited to finally show this one.
Yeah, me too. It was a great interview, and along with the team who created the NFTs, we had special guest Jon from Superstore. He's a writer and actor on that show. He's just a funny, really nice guy, and he talked about his view on NFTs in the entertainment industry, how their team is kind of decentralizing the creative process by letting NFT holders, contribute to the show, contribute to the writing. And I think it's super sweet. I really hope you guys enjoyed the interview. If you do, let us know by smashing the like button, and we can get you some more stuff like this in the future. Alrighty, I think we should go ahead and roll the clip. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's run it back.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Moon or Bust. Today, we'll be interviewing the team behind the Glue Factory Show. For anyone out there who doesn't know, the Glue Factory Show is an NFT project with a pretty star-studded cast and a TV show on the way. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome to Moon or Bust, Jon, the collector and the collector's wife.
Nailed it.
Hello.
Hey, everyone.
Thanks so much for joining us today, guys. So starting with Jon, can each of you guys introduce yourself and tell us what your role is on the Glue Factory Show?
Yes, I'm Jon Barinholtz, and I am taking this amazing concept off these amazing NFTs that the collector and his wife created, and putting together a writing team and a voice team, and gonna make the production of these 6 little shorts that are gonna be based off the NFT content.
Awesome.
Yeah, and yeah, we are the ones that I guess dreamt up this crazy idea.
Yeah, so my husband has been kind of fascinated with NFTs for a while, and I've kind of watched over his shoulder this kind of parade of animals that was occurring. And as much as I loved the art, I kind of kept on asking, what's next? Like, where is this going, this NFT craze? And from that kind of crazy dream, or this, it was actually a joke, this idea of what happens to the zed-run horses when they don't make it around the track. And we kind of like started experimenting with that kind of dark humor, and we kind of struck on this idea of the Glue Factory, this kind of place that rescues all of these really kind of sad, abused,
unfortunate but beautiful in their own right.
Yeah. And then from there, kind of was working with my husband, who is really a failed collector, it should be said.
Yeah, I don't have much. I can now at least say that my failed collections went to something bigger, because I can say it was out of necessity, not out of having the wrong kind of eye for what was hot.
Very cool. So can we maybe talk about who makes up the Glue Factory writing team and what the premise of the series will be about?
Yeah, sure, I can speak to that. So it's myself, and it's Colton Dunn, who comes from most recently on Superstore, but he wrote for Key and Peele and Mad TV, and he's like a comedy brain who's been around for forever. He's an amazing actor, amazing writer. We have Katie Rich, who wrote for SNL and specifically in the Weekend Update format for them for 7 years, and wow. She and I just for the last 2 years have been working on an adult animated comedy for Netflix that's going to come out in a month. And she's again another. All these people are amazing brains in the comedy world. There's Jim Wise, who is from The Groundlings, which is an amazing theater out in Los Angeles, where everyone who's ever come out of there is just, it's everyone you know in comedy, who's then went on to SNL or stayed out here and did television and film work. Plus Jim is like kind of a ringer in terms of joke writing. He's written for every late night talk show and every award show that you can, like, I mean, IMDb the guy, it's insane like what his resume is. And then Rob Belushi, who is a partner of mine in Chicago, one of my best friends for a long time. And he trained me at Second City. I trained under him, and just another amazing comedic mind. He's like, Rob's like that amazing, like, combination of, like, he's super funny, but he's also this like really handsome, like action star looking guy. And he's like done a ton of stuff in drama too. So he's been on like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Chicago PD, but as well as like How I Met Your Mother and a bunch of other comedies, and just recently hosted a game show on Game Show Network. And that's the team. There's 5 of us.
That's cool. So Jon, did you know anything about NFTs before you were pitched the show?
Like maybe 1/10 of what I know now. Okay. I had heard, it was on one of that podcast, The Daily. It's like the New York Times. Mm-hmm. They do like a news. It's like they do like one news story that they go in depth on every day. And like, I don't listen to it all the time, but I think like around April they did one on NFTs, and it was really interesting to me. And my wife, who isn't professionally in the world of art, but is as like a huge hobby of hers, she does really cool photos, and I was like really taken by this idea, and I was trying to get her to like turn her photos into NFTs, and we were a little bit down the road and looking to like how that would work. And that was the depth I knew, that like digital art existed, and I didn't really understand the community around it until a mutual friend of the collector and the collector's wife connected us and told me about what this project was. And it was just like, I got a crash course in it and was so on board from the start because of like what this meant and what kind of community is actually there. I was really intrigued by it. And in my profession, there's not a lot of ways to like disrupt, because everything's really controlled by network and studios, and which is like great. Like there's so much great content out there, but this is a new way to kind of like to use this platform to derive a product of a show out of is completely new. And that was really exciting for me because it's the kind of thing like, I've been working a lot for the past few years, and every project's fun and exciting that I choose to enter into. This one was so new and different that I couldn't pass it up.
Yeah, that's what blockchain technology does. It's every day there's something new that is completely life-changing that can happen, that somebody creative can build and completely disrupt something that you didn't even know needed it, and then it's better.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Colton put it the other day. We did a Twitter Spaces thing. Colton said it really well, where it's like, it's almost like a reverse Comic-Con, right? Where like at Comic-Con, you're going to like celebrate these amazing worlds that have been created first in the writer's room and then sold to a studio that had partners with a network, and it's aired and people could see it, and it creates this fan base and this merchandise. This is the reverse. We started with the merchandise and the product, right? And essentially said to the community, like, do you like this? Is this something you like enough that you would like to see material derived from it? And the community responded, and that's such an exciting thing to like, it feels like you're making a show of like the people, which is, you don't really get to do in my world. That's really cool.
Yeah. So you and Colton worked together on Superstore, and it was probably a little easier to talk to him about it because you guys did, but I looked online. It says that he's legally obligated to work on one horse project a year. So he didn't really have a choice. But I think it'd be a little bit harder to lasso some of the other guys in there. I'm all about the horse puns today.
Yeah, absolutely. It was super easy because when I explained to them the concepts, to varying degrees of all of them, they understood the NFT world, either like some not at all and some completely. Like Colton really, he's been involved in it. He's a big crypto guy. He got his head around it really easily. But when it boiled down to, all five of us have a background in improv comedy specifically, and that community is really not that dissimilar from the NFT community, where it's there really is a sense of community, and there's a sense of passing on ideas to each other and building on ideas, and people communicating about what they think is cool and exciting. And we all come from that background. So when I said like, hey, this is a project where like these people are saying this is an exciting thing that they want to see, and like, look at this art, it's really cool. And it was very easy for them to be like, oh yes, we get this, we can build a show off this and come up with a really fun concept and create 6 shorts that we think people are really going to like.
That's really cool. So many people are excited to be working on the project. It's so, I guess, unconventional to be doing an NFT project in this space and having all these people, working on the team. It's really cool. Do you guys have a problem, pitching the concept of having a collectible before the show even exists? Because I feel like in the entertainment industry, you have the show and then you get the fan base, and then from there, you have collectibles and whatnot. With NFTs, it's kind of switching it around, which is really cool. I'd like to get your take on that.
Yeah, I think it only helps. Like it's showing that there's confidence in a product before anyone who's going to buy and produce a show at a full scale, right? Like we're making it at a small scale right now, and anyone who's going to buy something and take it to full scale, all they're trying to do is minimize risk. And when they see that there's a fan base already built in, it's a no-brainer for them. It's the reason why Katie and I show that we worked on with a few other people that it's going to be on Netflix. That was based off a Twitter account. And that Twitter account was a parody account, and it was another one of our friends. And it didn't have didn't have millions of followers, but it had that's 50,000 followers, I think, at the time when we pitched it as a show. And it was already people who it was a rabid fan base, right? So it was very easy to walk into these places and be like, here's this product that already exists. You get the style of humor from the tone of what these tweets are. And here's the world we want to build around the show. And it was less of a barrier of entry for buyers to understand that and accept it. Same thing with this. They'll see this art, they'll see these shorts, and they know there's a whole community behind it.
That's awesome. Yeah. I can't tell if you guys are putting the cart before the horse or the horse before the cart. So I'll leave the jokes to Jon.
It's exactly as Jon said, and Ryan, as you asked, it's what's it like putting an idea forward? Well, you need to have a concept, and if the concept is strong enough and it looks good and there's kind of a strange, unique take to it, then I almost think we're coming into a period of time where you don't need, your pitch can be strong. And if the pitch is the NFTs themselves and the community is there, it's kind of you're taking a lot of steps. A big leap of faith, obviously, from a lot of people coming together in that leap of faith. So people really rally behind it.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's really cool. You're building out the community, and you'll have this audience for the show, and the community will be involved in the making of the show, which adds an entire another level to it, which is really cool. So I have another question, mostly for the collector and the collector's wife. But what made you guys want to create a show around NFTs? I've never heard of an idea like this before. And have you guys ever seen a project do anything similar to this?
So when the idea first kind of came to us, and admittedly it was kind of this idea with horses that we kind of were playing with. This was actually well before kind of Stoner Cats or any kind of other NFT projects were kind of looking at this kind of animated format. And it really kind of struck me as this perfect marriage. And we're really lucky to be able to have the connection to pitch this idea to Jon, and his enthusiasm for this and his kind of ability to have a clear vision in terms of where this could go was really empowering. It was very clear to us that if we can build this community, if we can have community support behind this, we can really create a new kind of format and concept here, which is really exciting.
Yeah, and I think, the original idea, actually, the show was a natural progression of this crazy idea where, we were sitting around, and I've always been a big NFT advocate, and I've tried to, bring as many artists, whether that's musicians or visual artists or anybody, to the NFT space, because, it's been a crazy year, but it's been a crazy few years in watching, blockchain technology develop. And seeing the possibilities for anybody who can, come with an inquiring mind and with some technical skills. I wanted to sort of, I've been trying to bring a lot of friends or people I knew that were really creative to the space. And I guess my wife was sitting back looking at it all thinking, what are you talking about half the time? Especially when, it went from, all kinds of really amazing 3D artists had a really big boom in January. And once people hit the kind of cover of the Times and everyone started pouring in, you moved into animals. And I think from the outsider's perspective, as we've been in and out of lockdown like the rest of the world. And I'm sure there's been a lot of conversations that you haven't even, my wife's kind of looked at me very strangely when I'm talking about all these different things. And then it started off as a joke, it was a joke about horses, as we've said. And the idea was instantly, how can we make this dark? Because that's the reality of the lives of a lot of horses. How can we do good with the darkness that we're creating? And then it was, well, hold on a second. If we are going to have these things that, like the ideas that we had for the visual, it just fit perfectly as an evolution into an animated series. So that's kind of like the backstory in a nutshell, but it was just this really perfect evolution from, sitting on the couch having a joke, a glass of wine, to hold on a second, this is really something, and we need to get people on the line here. So
that's awesome, man. And so I know, Collector, you are a big advocate of NFTs and art, but Jon, I'm curious to hear from a more fresh perspective, someone who's newer in this space, from an artist background, do you see the integration of blockchain and NFTs as inevitable in this point?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really didn't, if you asked me this question 6 months ago, I think I'd be like, what? Now, like, it's one of those things, like, once you get it, you get it. And what's so cool about the NFT world is just the focus is on the art and the artist, right? Like, the artist keeps winning, like, as these things keep getting pushed out there and sold and moved around. And it's like, that doesn't happen. I mean, whether it's like the physical art business or even like, you know, the entertainment business, like your actors that you see on TV and these people who are coming in, these writers, like you're getting paid to do this thing, and then the product is owned by someone completely else entirely, even though you helped build this thing, and which is like fine. That's how the system's set up. This is like I said, the word before, I used the word disruption. This is a little bit of a disruption in an industry that's always looking for that. The entertainment industry is always excited to find about where the disruption can happen next, and also terrified by that, right? So it's like what keeps people from making bold decisions and as often as they may want to. And this is like, I'll say it again, that when I saw this as an opportunity to partner up with this amazing team and be the first show that's really trying to have a go at this, it was so exciting. It's such a great opportunity.
Awesome.
So I have another question. This might be better answered by the collector or the collector's wife, but I want to know a little bit more about the generative aspect of these NFTs. Were these generated upon mint, or was the collection put together beforehand so you guys could choose what the horses looked like for the show and for the NFTs, and then sold with different rarities?
For sure. So it wasn't generated at mint, but it also, we really wanted to make them, we really wanted to make sure they were completely random and completely, we weren't looking to do the kind of hand of God, come in and make a horse that was the perfect horse, because the whole concept is, it is actually quite a chaotic universe that they live in, I guess, even just from a visual perspective, before we even get into the show. So, a few months back, I started really, when I really started looking at, I was really intrigued, how do these projects do this? How is there a possibility to bring so many random layers and bring collections to life? So I jumped on with a friend and we did a whole bunch of code diving. I'm not like the most amazing kind of technical mind, but I can read things and I can understand things. And we really went deep and spent months trying to figure out how these things come to life. And it's a mix of everything from obviously illustration and Python scripts and then we put it together in a completely random nature. We came up with all the ideas for all the different traits.
It was a fun couple of days.
And that's the funny part, it's putting those together is a really quite a quick process, in terms of the idea. And then you spend a long time figuring out, okay, this horse is going to be impaled by a racing fence. That's an option. But this other item that we thought was super hilarious won't work with that because it just clashes. So we spent a long time going through generating, checking, writing exceptions, regenerating, looking through, okay, we missed something, there's more we need to do. So it's a really fun process, but you end up looking at 100,000 different photos. Brain starts to melt just a little bit.
So off the top of your head, do you know how many different attributes the Glue Factory horses have?
I did. Mind blank. I think it was 124.
Okay. So over 100 different traits. Have you seen any certain attributes that have been coveted by investors or collectors rather? Are there certain traits that people value over others?
At the moment, people are still really into the breeds. people love the ghosts and the skeletons, I think.
Pegasus wings are very highly coveted.
Yeah, and we've got a couple of random things in there. As you've seen, there's the Putin riding the horse is where one of our biggest came from, and people seem to really like that one. I think
bionic legs are quite popular too.
Yeah, the bionic legs. People just love cyborg things, right? Like that's just seems to be a given across all NFT projects. My personal favorite though is the paddock blanket because it's so nice and simple, and it just feels really wholesome. Like this horse has been looked after. But then you add in all the strange elements to it, and you really feel that that's not the case.
It's cool to see how the resale market just naturally evolves, and how the people at large will pick some attributes over others. Are there any that you expected to do better that really didn't trend or pop off?
I mean, the glue barrel and the bucket of kind of bits of horses. I was expecting people to be either more in uproar or like be a little bit more kind of into those. The winner's check people actually love. No one's really commented on the fact that it's actually pinned to the horse. I was kind of hoping for some more outrage on that, but I'm sure people will see it now. You won't be able to unsee it. Yeah.
And then there's I think my personal favorite is this little twerp Ryan who's like gone and drawn all over this poor horse. Because there's this thing which I didn't even know about until I started really diving in deep, like pony parties, where these poor horses will be taken to children's birthday parties, and essentially children will paint all over these beautiful horses as a form of like entertainment. So I think Ryan's obviously
do that to my Uncle Gary at parties. He would fall asleep, he would drink too much, we would just paint on him.
Yeah.
Fine when it's bad for horses.
Gary can take it though.
Gary,
yeah, he can handle it. Will each horse like kind of have a spot on the show, or is it that yet to be determined kind of thing? Or probably more of a surprise. But like they all kind of look similar besides the breeds, so I'm assuming each one's kind of a version of the of a certain one, and then with different attributes. But will each one have a part of the show, or? Yeah, I mean, I don't want us to ask that. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. This is why obviously we're building out a universe here, and we're building out a show. And Jon's got some amazing things he can bring to life with all these variations in these characters. But that's why we've looked at making sure that the model is not rewarding the individual NFT. If an individual NFT is featured, it's more about rewarding breeds. So that's kind of what we put together as our rewards model is when a single breed when an NFT that features a breed, like an Arabian horse, for example, or an Akalteke, which is our display picture here, then all of the holders of an Akalteke would be rewarded from our talent fund. So that's kind of that model instead of going a one-for-one.
I gotcha.
Interesting. So will some of the specific NFTs be like surprise featured on the show, and could they instantly become more valuable because of that?
There is always that. Yeah.
Cool. Always that. We'll trick up the old sleeve.
We don't want to give too much away. We can't speculate on what's going to be used.
You could tell in the interview though.
Yeah, for sure.
What are the nifty slabs, and will you guys have more of them? I saw you had a giveaway just of a couple on Twitter, but I saw on the website that the tangible physical item that might be the nifty slab. Are you guys gonna have more of those?
Yeah, so the nifty slab it's just like collecting baseball or basketball cards, and you have these plastic containers that protect your collectible or your investment, and it's such a nostalgic thing. I grew up collecting basketball cards. I inherited most of my collection from my brother, and I still have this giant folder of basketball cards that probably there might be a couple of good ones in there, but most of them are just standard run-of-the-mills from the pack. But I remember vividly being so excited to be able to put them in a physical case, and I could like carry it around with me. I remember taking them to school, and then someone stole my Shaq rookie card. So you know, I learned my lesson there. But the Nifty Slabs are, it's actually a company based out of Australia as well. I hope they don't mind me saying that. But they do amazing work. They've done work with a lot of other great projects, and they put together this really beautiful collectible item, this physical item, and they give a little bit of a profile. They include all the traits, and they have, you know, the description, and they have, it's like you bring it to the real world, bring your NFT to the real world. And the big point of difference for us is because we're actually not just a straight square profile pic project, ours actually fills out the Nifty Slab perfectly because it's a rectangle. So we were really psyched when we all got together and realized that.
Gotcha. On the subject of cards, I had a lot of Pokemon cards as a kid, and I know my parents will watch this show because they usually watch. But I know for a fact that they threw away when I was at, you know, whatever age, they threw away probably $200,000 worth of Pokemon cards. They didn't want to clean them up. And it's like, well, look what you did.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I like NFTs though. Can't get them. I'm a grown man, but you can't get them anymore. You can't take them from me. So the Glue Factory show has a fairly large community input. Can you guys tell us a little bit about the writers' room and what that entails or what that's going to be?
Yeah, for sure. I'll just do the quick intro, and then Jon can talk to kind of how a writing assignment works in general. One of the things when we first got together with Jon, we wanted to we put forward this idea of, well, how can we make this give this community an insight into the world of entertainment?
Definitely. I think that the community aspect is what's so strong about NFTs. The way that the community rallies behind their NFT is truly spectacular. And to be able to have community voice in terms of the creation of this project, I think is just so exciting and really pioneers what is innovative about this kind of space.
Yeah, and so we got together and we said, what if there's a way to bring in, you know, we've set up the Discord, we'll have, you know, a whole bunch of ways to interact with the community, but how deep can we go with this? And so we came up with the concept of the community writers room. And in this, basically, we're going to have a whole bunch of writing assignments. So Jon and his team have put together, you know, they're putting together the idea of the universe that the show exists in, but we need to fill that universe out. You know, there's things that we need, and there's, you know, the strangest things come from, you know, reality, right? And so if we have a whole bunch of people being able to contribute, we have a whole bunch of different ideas and different takes on reality. So that's how people are going to contribute. And it's kind of, and Jon can talk to what writing assignments are in the entertainment space and how we've kind of merged them together here.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of, you know, the hardest work of any writer is like crafting your story, figuring out what are you telling with this thing that you want to show people, and how are you telling it. So this amazing group of writers that, you know, that I went through earlier, that came together and have been breaking these stories for each episode. We're kind of crafting the blueprint and where we know going from A to B to C to the end of the story. And along that way, there's this whole world of that these horses are existing in that we've created for the show. And like the collector said, we want to fill out that world with community involvement. So fun things like we want a lot of the names and a lot of the locations that we're seeing in this place to be driven by by community suggestions. You know, like, am I allowed to give any of the ones away, or are we holding those back, collector?
Well, we have launched one, so that's good. You know, there's the Siri.
Siri one. Okay, great. So yeah, so an example would be like, well, in this world, smartphones do exist, but it's probably not Apple and it's probably not Siri. So, you know, you're a horse in this world and you take out your smartphone. What what is the main product there, and what is that voice? What does that voice sound like when you talk to Siri? It's not called Siri. What is it called? And you just arrived in this new world. And you need to know 3 answers to something. What are the first 3 things you would ask? So certain things that we can look at and see where the community's mind is going with this, because that's questions that, are going to inform how we create this world. And it's such a fun, interactive part on the writing side that just, again, doesn't exist in things in my business. Like occasionally you'll have like, someone will auction off like a walk-on role on a show, like for security, and you'll have someone who like literally walks by in the background. And this is like truly in the creative process of it, like coming up, filling out this world, and you're going to be able to see this on the screen, and it's going to be like, oh, I named that store. And it's cool. How fun is that to be able to be involved in the creative process from the ground up? It was just such a unique thing, and the Collector's Wife were so smart to integrate that with this.
Yeah, and I think what we're doing, we really want to have fun with it. We really want our community to be able to come together and bounce ideas and really get going. So with this first one, it's like, there's this you've got hooves. You can't use a smartphone, so you obviously need some help. And it's like, does the Siri or the voice assistant of this world, do they have an attitude? Do they have an accent? What are the sort of downfalls of this program? Because we all know, we've all tried to ask Siri to do something and it does it completely wrong. And we end up yelling at the phone, telling it to stop and tap, so it's about finding out, if you were a horse, what struggles do you have with your smartphone? That's kind of, and there's a whole range of things like this that we're going to be rolling out as the weeks go on. And we're really excited to see everybody, the answers have already started flowing and it's been really fun, but we're really excited to see everybody be proud of being a part of the process.
Yeah, I think Bitcoin brought us decentralized money like 10 or 11 years ago, and now you guys are bringing us like decentralized comedy TV, decentralized art. That's a novel concept that I'm a big fan of.
Thank you so much. It's really exciting.
The whole world's changing, and it's just going in this awesome direction, because you can have rug pulls and you can have negative things happen. There's fraud and there's other stuff, but for the most part, it inherently can't be evil. And so there's a lot of things that can happen for the better, for the greater good, for everything. And for the entertainment industry, that's a huge deal. So that's really, really cool.
It's such a great way to get their attention. It's, like, aside from being able to make a show is a dream, no matter like how it occurs, but to be able to do it in this way and to tell an entire gigantic industry that there's a voice of people that they have to start paying attention to now is so cool. It's so cool. Like, there's already a scramble in my industry of how to read ratings, right? Because people don't watch TV the same way anymore. People aren't watching live. They start looking at, live +7 ratings as people are recording. But now people there's so many different ways that people are watching that it's really tough to track who's watching what, and to be able to say to this industry, like, oh, you have to start paying attention to this group too, because this group has something to say, and they're consumers like anyone else, and they have opinions and thoughts on things, and we're giving a voice to this community. I think it's really cool to shine a light and give attention to it. And I really hope that this is like the first of many projects that is created this way, and that this community gets the attention that they deserve.
Gotcha. One last quick question. I own 2 horses. I bought one this morning just because I got so excited about this interview. But what does that bring me if I'm a holder? What privileges do I get from that?
Yeah, for sure. So the community writers room is what's kind of happening right now. So this is a gated kind of channel in our Discord. And basically it gives you access to the creation process. So that's one of the main perks. And then the second thing that we're working to bring to life is the rewards fund. So it's like a talent fund. We took 2.5% of our initial sale, and we've got it's being topped up with 2.5% of our secondary sales. And as we kind of touched on before, if a breed of horse is used in the show, then the talent fund is used to disperse amongst the community. And there'll be a kind of reward system there. So there'll be a snapshot before the episode, so we'll know who the holders are, and then we're working on finding the perfect distribution model to get people rewarded for essentially being a part of the community.
And I just have to shout out the collector and his wife for coming up with that, and how they've, at least from my point of view, taken care of and been like really considerate of the community throughout this whole process. It's how I like to work, and it's how all the people I pulled in to write like to work, and of taking care of one another and really being mindful of how we're going about things, and not just coming in for a gig and then hitting the road. And I've really gotten that feeling from the collector and his wife, and it's been such a great collaboration, really, really fun. And the idea that they set this stuff aside to keep rewarding the community, it's like everyone gets to win. It's so cool. I really like it.
Thank you, John. Yeah.
Thank you.
So Gary V and Logan Paul have showed some interest, and Logan Paul has spent 18.78 ETH on them so far, which is about $57,000. But what do you think brought these two guys into it? Like, because Gary V's all about it, and we can go into the other stuff later, but Gary V's all about it. What do you think like draws him into your project? Because you do have a very, very unique and really awesome project, in my opinion, but I'm not Gary V. I don't have that kind of money or pull or anything.
I mean, I can't. Yeah. Our collector, go for it.
I was going to say, Gary has always been watching emerging tech, emerging trends. I think this is just, it was not our intention by any means, but I think this just fits perfectly into what he's looking at. He was such a big advocate for Twitch. He was such a big advocate for TikTok. He's such a big advocate for trends that are breaking the norms and bringing new ideas to the table in spaces that are due for disruption. So I don't know. It was really, obviously, we're very humbled to be able to get the attention of certain people, and to see Logan Paul come in and put all these big bids on, like he bid 33 ETH on our rarest horse, which is a zombie unicorn. And whoever is holding that has diamond hands. They did not budge. They didn't. They held strong. Wow. So I think there's a lot of people looking at this space, and there's projects popping up every day, but we really wanted to do something, this is not something that's going to happen overnight. The writing process, we had a Twitter Spaces last week, and John and the team outlined the process of how the show is going to come to life, and it is going to take a while because we're doing things really well. We're not just trying to scratch together a couple of shorts here and there. We're doing things, we're merging the traditional way of making shows with this forefront of technology. So it feels like it's the perfect kind of, I guess, litmus test for how is this going to work. And people like Logan Paul and Gary V and some others are the people that like to take those risks, I guess. And we just seem to pique their attention at the right time.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I know that there's a charitable aspect to this project as well. Could you maybe tell us about the Talent Fund for horse owners and the Red Bucket Rescue Fund?
Yeah, so this is really exciting. We're really proud that 10% of our sales are going towards Red Bucket Equine Rescue, which is an amazing horse rescue in Chino Hills, California. So the work that Red Bucket does is phenomenal. Literally, the name comes from the initial red bucket that Susan, the owner of the ranch, used to save her first horse. And from then, she's just expanded kind of her mission to kind of rescue abused horses, rehabilitate them, and in hopes of actually then rehoming them. So she does incredible work, and it couldn't come at a more fortuitous time either. I know that it's been a really hard season. When our business partner called to kind of explain that we have this donation for her, she immediately broke down in tears and kind of was saying how she was in that moment writing up a grant to get kind of funds coming in because they're almost running out of hay. So for us to be able to to actually use this for good, to give back to such an important mission and make that difference with our community is such a privilege.
Yeah, and there's we've just been out there, so there's a lot of content coming. You'll be able to see that roll out pretty soon. But the buckets, there's a video, someone in our community posted a video in the Discord that's an interview with Susan, and she brings these horses in that are just, when you look at them, it's so sad to see how they come in, but it's so beautiful to see what she does to help them and how she kind of rehabilitates them. And the red buckets, they come in, she says, they come in with no name, they come in with no kind of sense of love, and they're given this red bucket, and the name is like written on in, I think it's like either permanent like marker or it's like stuck on, and then that is, this bucket symbolizes their rehabilitation and their hope. And then when they leave the ranch, they take the red bucket with them to carry on, and like they have a name, they have a sense of purpose, and it's a really really beautiful operation she has.
And we're at the very start of what's going to be a horribly brutal fire season out here in California, and a lot of times, like, you forget, like, people get displaced, but all these animals get displaced, and hundreds of horses every year, like, they just have to let their horses run free, and they wind up dying. They run away, they wind up dying or getting sick, and this is truly going to be life-changing for them, but life-changing for this organization who can now take in more in the midst of this horrible fire season and rehome. And it's just, I think you've all been through a lot the past couple of years, and whenever like you can do something that changes lives for the better, it feels really good, and there's going to be a direct impact of this money. This isn't a big, huge international organization. This is one place that this will allow them to do everything that they want to do, and it's really nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so I'm sure you saw this question coming, but when can we expect to see the first episode of the show?
It's a good question. So like the collector pointed out, like we're in it right now. We've already commenced writer's room. We're going to get these scripts like looking great, along with the community writer's room help. Then we'll start, casting this out and voice recording it. It's a tricky time right now with voice recording stuff because of COVID protocols. Like, I just went through it with this Netflix cartoon where you can have one person in the booth, and you don't get these big group records that really bring life to things. They just changed it to now you can have two people in the booth, and I think it's going to open up more in September, which is great. So we're, playing it by ear in terms of the recordings. Like, hopefully we're getting these recorded in September. It may be October. That combined with starting animation at the same time. We're, I don't want to give firm dates because there is so much up in the air, but we're really hoping that, at the earliest, people might do these by the end of the year. At the latest, the start of like early next year, which is just perspective from, if this were a live action show, that would still be really fast. But from the perspective of animation, it's crazy, the animation machine and how long it takes. For context, this Netflix show I just did, we started working on it in May of 2019, and it's just coming out now, September 17th of this year.
Wow.
So by doing this, of the people production, we get to skip a lot of the stuff that takes a lot of time usually, and we're pushing these things out like, what will be eventually like under a half year timeline, which is insane and super exciting just from a creator's perspective, because you never get that sense of immediacy, especially in animation. You have to write your jokes like 10 times by the time it comes out, because you reference something that was funny. Like, oh, we have a Tiger King joke? That's not going to play anymore. Changing stuff. So like this immediacy it's going to allow the writing to be better, and I know it's exciting for all of us as writers to be able to see that product as soon as we're going to see it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to join us today and telling us all about the Glue Factory show. Before we wrap up, I just want to give each of you the opportunity to maybe highlight anything you want the audience to know, or if there's any shout outs you'd like to give, go for it. Now the floor is yours.
Collector, let's go for it.
Yeah, we just want to shout out our whole community. It's just been so amazing. There's so many great people in there every day in our Discord and on our Twitter. And this is really a community kind of, we want to be the bridge. We want to bring people behind the, the curtain and bring this all to life. So that's kind of, we want to shout out everybody there.
Definitely. And I mean, I think I'd also like to take this opportunity to just like publicly thank Jon for his amazing kind of belief and vision. Like when we took this idea to him, he had such an incredible vision for where this could go, and the way that he has driven the creative side of this project through this show. It's been incredible to see, and I'm so excited for this kind of project to come to life through his work.
Yeah, and I want to shout out Brian for reaching out and for being a big fan of the Glue Factory. So yeah, and I'm sure you guys are all over it too. But we've really enjoyed having the time to be able to talk about it today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's our pleasure.
And I'll echo the collector's wife and the collector and shouting out the community. And thank you, collector's wife, for the kind words. That's so nice. We're so excited. I'm going to shout out the writing team that pulled into this, like Colton Dunn, Katie Rich, Rob Belushi, Jim Wise. These people are so talented, and we have so, like, it's one of those things like you wish you could just share what we have already, but we have to, we have to keep it a surprise. And we have 6 really funny episodes that we're building right now, and I can't wait for everyone to see these.
I can't wait to see them either.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm like I said, I'll be in it for the long haul. I'll hold it till we're completed. I'm gonna follow the project for a while, and hopefully we can bring you guys back on whenever closer to the air date, or when you have more news or something. We'll definitely
that'd be awesome.
Keep this communication going about it.
For sure. Lots of work that you guys do. It's always so great to see all the different creators and different projects that you bring in. So thank you for giving us the space.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much for joining us today. All right, we hope you guys enjoyed the interview. That is the Glue Factory. You can go check them out at the Glue Factory, gluefactoryshow.com, and then follow them on Twitter. Do you have the handle? Is it just Glue Factory?
Glue Factory Show. Yeah.
Boom. There it is. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching today. We will see you on Wednesday. Have a good one.
All right, guys. And just like that, I have teleported to Benzinga headquarters, changed clothes, and I am back in action. So we hope you guys enjoyed that interview. I know I did. It was a good one. They were really fun to talk to, and I think the project is really cool. I see y'all in the chat are on the same page. You guys are liking this. So smash the like if you're here for Glue Factory specifically. Let us know in the comments. Say what's up. Just want to say what's up to Slippery. Is CNBC interviewing Cartoon Clown JPEGs? No, that's why we're better, okay? So Ryan and Brian, what'd you guys think about the interview?
I really liked it. I mean, Brian knows a lot more about this project, but we all got some really good insight from the Glue Factory show. And one reason I really like it is because it's not like a lot of these other NFT projects where you kind of just have to guess, go based on the community and what it looks like. But, this is really decentralizing the entertainment industry to a degree. It's a novel idea, and I think it's really cool to see how this does, especially once the show comes out.
Yeah, agreed. And that's exactly why I like it too. There's a lot of potential, and who knows what this can actually mean for future projects, especially with the movie industry, TV industry, all that stuff. It's very exciting to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's pretty innovative, I think. And maybe I picked up a horse after the interview. Maybe I'll be able to, contribute to the show. I think that'd be one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure we'll see more stuff like this in the future. It's a great idea, great concept, and it's like some real deep value attached to these NFTs as well.
Brian, do you have a favorite horse trait? I see French Monkeys asking here.
I don't know about favorite. I mean, I like the 2 I have, but
do you know which breeds they are?
Oh, not off the top of my head. I don't think I have
I
time
picked
to
up
go
a
into
ghost.
it.
I thought the ghosts were pretty cool, and they were pretty
those
cheap.
are. And
I got one like right
the
above
meat
the
ones
price
are
point.
good too.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one
Show.
Arabian. So we'll see. I think they said that you know, if you have a certain horse, the breed, and it's in the show, you get a reward too. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's really cool to be a part of this, because you whenever you see something that you helped write and you see it in the show, you're like, wow, there's actually, like, it's not just somebody on the internet who you don't really know. I mean, there's actual comedy minds and a lot of passion and experience goes into it, and you see it come to fruition. You're like, yeah, I said put that tree there, or I said that this horse should go do that. I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys are into the NFT space, you'll definitely want to check out our brand new show called The Roadmap. We got some real NFT geniuses over there, especially behind the scenes as well. They're finding and interviewing the biggest projects in the space. So go check that out if you haven't already. Also, stay tuned. Stick around. In 45 seconds, we have pre-market prep at the close. So if you guys are looking to make some gains in the stonk market as well, go hop on over there. Just stay tuned. It will redirect you automatically. There's a great team on that show as well. But that is all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, this is Moon or Bust, your home for all things altcoins and DeFi. We will see you on Wednesday. Peace out, y'all.